So what should be done with the honorable judge of the Delhi High Court, in whose house, in whose official bungalow, a massive sum, allegedly 15 crores in all, in cash has been found? With me, one of the foremost legal minds of our country, well-known senior Supreme Court lawyer, Vikas Singh, joining us. Vikas ji, thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us. Let me straight away ask you, sir. In your career as a jurist, as a lawyer, is today the most embarrassing day for you?
Well, it is definitely a moment for all of us to introspect and to see where all we have gone wrong. Because ultimately, if we don't take course correction now, and that too very strong course correction, the damage that has happened to the judiciary probably will never be able to, come out of it. So I think it's a time to introspect and see where all we are going wrong. It's a time to also question the collegium system and to see that what better can be done to get more credible judges, more deserving judges, more judges with integrity. It is also a time to now set an example. And the example, according to me, will be first that transfer is no solution. He has to be firstly taken off, all judicial work should be taken off from him. And this has happened in the past also. This has happened in Bombay High Court. 4 judges were made to resign. Bar Association should swing into action. If I had been the president, I would have definitely passed the resolution. The Bar Association should take a strong stand. And if he, in the swift in-house inquiry, if he has no plausible explanation, which is very unlikely for him to have, he should be asked to resign.
And but Vikasji, I have one objection in this entire surmise, and I've been speaking to a whole range of legal experts for the last couple of hours. Just imagine the scenario for a moment. If this supposedly, we don't know the exact volume, but I'm only going by speculative numbers, 15 crores in cash. If this was found from the house of a business entity or a politician, would the same yardsticks which are being applied for this honorable judge would have been applied by now? Wouldn't we have already seen ED teams, CBI teams, income tax teams jumping in?
So, Bhupen, there is a safeguard which the judiciary has brought in as an inbuilt safeguard. Before taking any action, there has to be a consultation with the Chief Justice of India. And it is only after his permission that the cases can be registered. And that is why when the Lokpal started initiating action, the matter is being considered on the judicial side. Because if the Lokpal were to exercise jurisdiction in this matter, then the in-house system, which is already in place of consulting the Chief Justice of India, will be completely set at naught. I'm not talking about this case, but there could be cases where where people could be framed, and there has to be a method by which you separate the grain from the chaff, because otherwise it will be also very dangerous for the institution. But having said that, if there is no explanation, then the heaviest of hand should come down on him. Heaviest. And
what can be the explanation? Because please explain to me. We're living in a.
There can be any explanation. I said so in the beginning. I don't think there could be any explanation. But nevertheless, even a Nathuram Godse got a trial. He got a hearing. Even a Kashyap got a trial. So it is not that a judge doesn't deserve a trial. He should be definitely given a plausible explanation. It should not be a long drawn trial like Kasab. It has to be a very swift. And these are matters where a swift action is more important than a swift action. Whatever has to be will bring in more credibility than a delayed inquiry and a delayed report. So it has to be immediate. Because if there is an explanation, the explanation should come now. It can't be coming 15 days later or a month later.
But explain to me, Vikasji, explain to me, sir. We saw this, when Justice Ranjan Gogoi was the Chief Justice and when he was accused of some wrongdoing. What did we see? We saw an in-house mechanism being created to investigate the judge. The judge ends up becoming the judge about an investigation which is being subjected against his own self. This in-house mechanism, which we speak about, is this fair in the eyes of law?
No. So what happened in the case of Justice Ranjan Gogoi was completely unacceptable. Completely unacceptable. He presided over a bench where this allegation was brought out by the Solicitor General, and he took suo motu action in the matter, where the allegation was directly against himself. So that is something which you can't compare that with this. Here it is not the judge himself who is looking after this particular case. It is being done by the Chief Justice of India and by the five senior most judges of this court. And when I say an in-house inquiry means, obviously they will call for his explanation, and I'm sure there will be none. So the action has to follow. But the sequence will always have to be by explanation followed by the action, rather than an action straight away without even going further.
But didn't we see that? Didn't we? If you say a sequence has to be followed, then why was he transferred initially? I'm trying to make some sense of it, that the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, Justice Khanna, decides to transfer him, supposedly demote him, to the Allahabad High Court, which means that prima facie, he did see some substance in the allegations which were being leveled. And if he saw the substance in the allegations, so why just a transfer?
No. So I don't agree with the transfer being a solution at all. And I said so in the very beginning. This was a case where the first decision that should have been taken was to withdraw judicial work from him. And the second decision should have been taken was, once they find in that in-house inquiry in a couple of days, if he has no answer, obviously he will not, then to ask him to resign. And that is the right course of action to be taken in this case, if you ask me. So, and once he's asked to resign, then the protection, whatever he has as a judge, goes away, and then automatically the law will take its own course, whether it be ED or CBI or whatever. Those agencies can swing in and do the further investigation. But the sequence will have to be that only. And I agree with you. The transfer is not a solution at all. Because transfer, and I don't know whether you're aware, the Allahabad High Court has already passed a resolution. Yes. We are not a trash bin. We are not a trash bin that all the material which is. And I, as a particular person from Bihar, I have a problem with the judges who have been transferred to Bihar also. Bihar also has been used as a trash bin. Everywhere you want there's something wrong against a particular judge, you transfer him to Bihar. That's no solution for the Bihari litigants, so to say, to suffer somebody who's not fit to be a judge in his own high court to be transferred to Patna. So these are just I would say, putting things under the carpet rather than taking action on what needs to be done.
And in this case, Vikasji, sir, we've seen in the past when a question came of a judge from the Calcutta High Court, for instance, who was to be impeached. We saw the entire gamut of parliamentary proceedings being followed. In this case, given the fact that we're talking of a straightforward case of corruption, if it's proven, are we looking at sacking of a judge, or are we still looking at impeachment of a judge?
So I would, my sequence should be to ask the judge to resign. If he accepts to resign, then the question of impeachment will not arise. But if he doesn't accept to resign, then obviously the inquiry, and then after the inquiry, the impeachment process, etc. But the impeachment, Bhupen, as you are aware, it's a political process where the judiciary really has not much say. And so far, independent India has not seen any impeachment go through. So I really don't know how much credibility we can assign to the impeachment process. But the judiciary in-house should definitely do something to restore the credibility of the people in the institution.
So I hear from you, sir, that the only way forward is actually that, since there can be, you're right, that, in the history of independent India, we've seen impeachments not going through. The only way forward, therefore, is if this learned judge, on the basis of the in-house investigation, decides to step down on his own. That's the only way forward.
That's the right way forward, yes.
That's the right way forward. All right, Vikasji. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.